Utthita Balasana, extended child's pose. What does it do? It stretches your hips, spine, and knees, brings fresh blood to your brain because it's considered a forward bend. It calms the mind and relieves stress. One thing to avoid with this position is if you have a knee injury, you are putting your body weight on your knees. If your knees are uncomfortable but they don't hurt, you can put something underneath your knees, something soft, to take the shock away a little bit, to give yourself a little bit of comfort. So, how do you get into it? You are on your calves, your knees, and your feet are more than likely up underneath your bum, your butt. Now, coming into regular child's pose, the cues to get into it is your knees are underneath you. You will inhale, and as you exhale, bring your belly towards your knees. You can stop here. Inhale, walk your hands forward. And as you exhale, lower your head down to the floor, your forehead to the floor. Like so. Inhale, come up. And that's extended child's pose. However, you might notice some things. One is some uncomfortability or even pain where your knees are. You might notice your butt does not come all the way to the backs of your heels. Instead of being like this, maybe your butt is more like this. And it might be a little uncomfortable because of maybe a shoulder injury to extend your arms forward. So what are some modifications that you can do? One is put something up underneath your knees. That's one. Two, separate your knees and make them wider instead of being directly up underneath you. Spread them out so it gives your gut, if you have one, I know I do, space to go in between your knees. This is also an obvious thing. If you're pregnant, you wouldn't want to have your belly laying on your thighs. You want space for that to go to. If your butt does not stay on your heels or happen to come halfway up when your forehead is on the floor, don't worry about that. Flexibility and the lengthening of your hamstrings and your hip flexors, being able to do that takes time, and nothing happens overnight. So, the modification: open your knees as wide as you need to. You inhale. From here, you can even have your hands here, whichever is comfortable, because you're the one that has to get into this position, not the instructor. Inhale. As you exhale, walking your hands forward, and then bringing your forehead to the floor. You might find that is a much better position to be in because it allows you a little bit more breathing space. I definitely noticed that for me. So if you notice it, do what works for you. Really, that's all it is. So what is regular child's pose if that is extended? Regular child's pose. Oh, another modification you can do is if you happen to have a block or a pillow and you either don't want to put your head on the floor or you can't put your head on the floor, you can use a block. Your head, your forehead can go on the block. With really all you're doing is bringing the floor up to meet you, and extend your arms. Or if you like to get more of a stretch in your shoulders and your upper back, you can, if you have two blocked or several blocks, have your hands go onto the block as you bring your forehead to the floor. So something to consider. Regular child pose is the same thing. The only difference is your arms are not being extended. They are being brought to the side of your body. And this one, you will inhale. As you exhale, come forward, bringing your forehead to the floor and your arms to your side. Now, as you notice, my butt is not on the back of my heels. I am not a thin, extremely flexible person to where my butt will be on my heels. And I'm okay with that. And if you're in that same situation, you should be okay with that too. Because this is a practice. And with practice comes change, not perfection. Change. And it gets better. Stick with it. Thank you.